and welcome to Long Live the Queen, where we talk about the women who made history. And by we, I mean the royal we, because it's just me. Today, we're going to talk about Isabella of Hainault.
One day we will be remembered.
Lady Isabella was born the 5th of April, 1170. She was the daughter of Baldwin V, Count of Hainault, and Margaret, the not yet but future Countess of Flanders. Isabella was betrothed at 1 year old to the 5-year-old Henri, the future Count of Champagne. We have spoken about this little boy's family before. His mother was Princess Marie, Countess of Champagne, the daughter of the King of France, and his father was Henri, Count of Champagne, the brother of the Queen. So this little boy had a powerful family. He was the grandson of the king and nephew of the queen, because everyone's related. He was her cousin. Both children's fathers agreed that the future 1-year-old Isabella would marry 5-year-old Henri. Quickly, Isabella was joined by more siblings, including several brothers. This left Isabella the strongest marital asset her parents possessed as their oldest daughter. So maybe it was time for an upgraded betrothed. Gross. In 1179, it was agreed upon by Isabella's father and the king that 9-year-old Isabella would be betrothed to 14-year-old Prince Philip the God-given. He sounds humble and down to earth. They were married the 28th of April, 1180. Isabella was 10 years old. Her new husband was 15. Isabella's 15-year-old husband was slowly taking over the kingdom. His father's health was declining. Less than 6 months after Isabella's child briding, her father-in-law died. Isabella was now the 10-year-old Queen of France. When Isabella was 11, her 16-year-old husband had beef with the Count of Flanders. I don't cover battles really, but they were fighting over some land. When Isabella was about 12, her 17-year-old husband decided to reverse his father's tolerance on French Jews. They were arrested and ransomed free, and then they could choose to convert to Catholicism or be subjected to further taxation. It was now illegal to be Jewish in France unless one had excessive means to pay the extra fees. I can't say I'm too impressed with this little queen's husband. I guess I should add that he was really good at war and increased the size of the royal army and its domain and kind of started a royal navy. He was just only kind of Catholic, so that's a bummer. When Isabella was 13, her 18-year-old husband had beef with the King of England. This fight was all family in-law drama. The King of France's sister had been married to the King of England's son, but he had gotten dysentery while he was out looting nunneries, and now they were fighting over her dower lands. When Isabella was 14, her 19-year-old husband again had beef with Flanders. This time, Isabella's father was supporting King Philip's enemies. He threatened to divorce her. Isabella saw her cue. She arrived barefoot and dressed as a penitent at various churches, and the people loved it. They marched right down to the palace and hollered like a group of angry Karens. They were loudly championing their 14-year-old queen. I can hear it already. Someone is going to say, "Why are you only talking about her husband and not her?" Look, I only know what I know. And it sounds like she was a 12 to 14-year-old girl in a fairly unhappy marriage to an angry teenager with possession of an army. And this angry teenager is named King Philip II, the God-given. I don't think it's going well. When Queen Isabella was about 16 and her husband King Philip was 21, something noteworthy happened. Noteworthy in that it was odd. The King of England's son Geoffrey had died in France. At his funeral, King Philip was reportedly grief-stricken and tried to climb into the coffin of his friend and brother-in-law. People noticed. The following year, 17-year-old Queen Isabella was pregnant. On the 5th of September, 1187, Queen Isabella had her first baby, Prince Louis, a boy, and on her first try. Just a few weeks before Queen Isabella turned 20, she was pregnant, and she went into labor. She delivered twin boys, Prince Robert, who died the same day he was born. Queen Isabella died the following day, and the other twin, Prince Philip, died just 2 days later. Her husband wasn't home at the time. He was in Normandy, having beef with the King of England. Queen Isabella died 21 days before her 20th birthday. Her husband wrote to the Pope that he greatly missed her. So, cool. I don't know, maybe they were in love. But she was a married teenage mother, and she was married to an angry man with an army. It seems like he was mostly gone, beefing with all of Western Europe. And that is where I'll leave it for now. What did you think of Isabella of Hainault? Look, I'm going to tell you something. I was a married teenager, and it's really hard, and my husband wasn't constantly away waging war. And then, just when she was going to turn 20, she died, having her second and third sons. Sorry, this was a sad one. Let me know what you think at longlivethequeenpodcast@gmail.com or on Facebook or Instagram at Long Live the Queen Podcast. And an update for anyone who wants it. Norway has just edged out Australia for top 5 biggest listeners to this podcast. So Australia's now down at 6, but they've got this. But Norway just edged them out. Long live to all the queens out there. And until next time, bye.
Will be remembered.
Thanks for listening.